everyone, and welcome back to another edition.
Time for the movie trivia Schmoedown.
Yes, folks, it is the Northern Countdown, and we are counting down, probably for the final time, our top 5 movie trivia Schmoedown matches. Because for those of you who don't know, and safe to say our clientele who watches the show probably should know, the movie trivia Schmoedown is no more. It has kicked the bucket. It has shuffled loose this mortal coil. After 9.
Schmoedown.
Exactly, it is the X Schmoedown. You knew where I was going with that. 9 seasons is an incredible run for just a show that just came up in a pizza shop.
Yep.
Anyone else want to add anything?
It was a big part of our lives. Well, yeah, big.
It is, yeah, because it's true.
Yeah.
Schmoedown, we wouldn't be here, the three of us right now today.
Exactly.
I'm not going to get into it, but as much as my personal feelings towards it all has changed, I still hold it in regard just because of everything that it has brought me.
It brought us together.
Exactly. So this is more of a celebration, and if I'm going to be honest, it's probably the last time I talk Schmoedown on camera. So let's have some fun.
Me too. Well, maybe not me, but yeah. This is going to be fun. This is my topic. Yeah, it's a week late, but because of life, we couldn't do it last week, so we're doing it this week. We're doing it live.
Isn't it because we got pushed it back that you changed the topic to this too?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the original topic. I don't even remember what the original topic was.
Oh, I remember it. I'm going to bring it back at some point.
Okay.
Thank you for that heads up. But so we're not gonna do the usual. How are you? Have you been this week? Like we usually do every week.
Yeah, we can.
How are you? How are you, 50? How have you been?
Well, I've been better because I always talk about that one friend of mine.
The contrarian.
Yeah. So he was here yesterday, and
you killed him.
No, probably should have, but this just feels like such a departure from the conversation we were talking about earlier. So maybe I'll just save that for another time.
No, go ahead.
Now I had this whole bit planned, and I got distracted with all the Schmoedown talk. Now it really brings down the mood. But I was gonna say that one of the joys of having him still in my life, every once in a while coming back. So he showed me the trailer for that Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey a month ago. Have you seen that one?
I cannot wait to see that movie.
Yeah.
I thought it was fake when he first showed it to me. And then no, it was legit. It was on the John Campea show.
Yeah, well, for those of you who don't know, the rights to Winnie the Pooh is now in public domain, so literally anyone can do anything with it. Hence, why we got Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey, and I can't wait. It looks like Friday the 13th meets the 100 Acre Woods, baby.
It looks so bad, though.
I know. That's why I can't wait. Who knows? It could be a hidden gem of a horror movie.
No, see, I want to see it just to see how bad it is. But you can bet your ass I ain't paying money for this shit.
Me neither. It's not coming to my theaters. It's not coming to theaters up here or anything. I'm probably gonna have to watch it on streaming myself.
If there's any movie that you want to watch but not pay for it, it's gonna be this one. I am not paying money to have my life ruined the way that movie's going to do it to me.
We should do a watch along with 50 when it comes out.
Yeah, probably.
Between that movie and Violent Claws, my holiday season is set.
Have you seen that trailer, 50, Violent Claws?
No.
It's David Harbour as Santa Claus, and he's going to rescue people, man. It's oh, dear Lord. It's like Taken if he was Santa.
Well, I would say it's more like John Wick for Santa.
Oh, yeah, okay, even better. Santa Wick.
Santa Wick. That whole conversation had to go in a different direction. I didn't really intend to, but should we talk Schmoedown now? When we get back, stay on target.
Now I'm gonna say, writing the list was fine. Ranking them after the third one, I'm like, oh shit, there's gonna be some big ones missing for my 5.
Yeah, me too. Me too. There's just so much to go over.
9 years, 9 years, gentlemen, 9 years.
That's true. I did manage to squeak out 5 honorable mentions today, so
I have 3.
wow, I got more than you.
Yeah.
Food. Should probably get some after this. Whose birthday was it? Or just cake for fun?
No, we just bought some cake because why the hell not?
Nah, don't you just love that?
Yeah,
I love it. Love it.
Like, the best thing is I can enjoy it because it's Ben's turn, so it's going to take a while to get to me.
Well, before you take a bite, though, I just want to ask what type of cake.
I don't know. Chocolate cake, pear cake, cake. I don't know. A cake from the market. I don't know. Doesn't really matter.
All right, Ben, kick us off.
My numero 5 is the second match in season 3. Roca vs. Mance.
Yes, the Mance Roca rivalry.
The infamous Mexican match. There is not only they didn't have a great ending, but this is the premiere of what that character could mean in the Schmoedown.
Right.
The Roca as the outlaw. I remember watching Moving Talk when he slipped into that character for the first time. Completely threw me off guard, but I loved it.
So I'm bad. I've actually, when it comes to anything sports related, there's very few instances where I actually go back and watch something.
Okay.
Something like if I for example, I started in season 4. I've never really gone back and watched season 3 or 2 or 1. This is the way I am. I mostly know this match based on reputation, but it is one of the legendary matches for a reason, basically for everything you just said. And it's the start of a legendary rivalry, but you're also right. This introduced the next phase of the Schmoedown. This introduced the character aspect.
And according to Holla, we almost got in the spectacular match versus Roca 3.
Yeah, scheduling conflicts, unfortunately.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, the rivalry didn't technically start there. It actually started on Movie Fight.
Movie Fight.
I remember that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I remember those. Movie Fights is part of the reason why I started watching the Schmoedown.
Was it? Were the Movie Fights thing about Batman versus Superman, or was it about Star Trek versus Star Wars?
I think it might have been Star Wars and Star Trek.
I could see that because we know Mance is an uber Star Trek fan, and Roca loves his Star Wars. So I could definitely see him being that.
Yeah.
Which makes Bespin even more ironic.
And I think they were a team on that one, and Mance just kept cutting him off, and there was no team dynamic between the two. That's where the rivalry started, I think.
Yeah, wouldn't put it past them.
Yeah. So what numero 5?
Okay, so this one, looking at my list, is actually the most recent one in the list. And actually, it's a little bit of a private connection, so that's part of the reason why it's on the list. But it's from Spectacular 2020. It's versus Shazam.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Just because my God, the ending of that match was so nail biting. You thought Shazam had it, and then out of nowhere, Odd Couple squeaks out the win, to the surprise of both competitors. And why it's on here for personal reason is a couple days later, after this dropped, myself and Daniel over on this channel, back when we used to do Northern Consultation, actually talked to Jeff Snyder. We were the first people to interview him after the title win.
I remember this. I remember you telling me about this.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you guys can go back and check it out, because I mostly because I don't remember, it's been a couple of years, but he does go into the match and like what they were thinking at that moment and stuff like that. So go back and check out our past interview with Jeff Snyder to get his thoughts on that match.
That's pretty awesome. I mean, talk about a legend of the championship.
A dead toy.
Yeah, talk about an underrated legend of the game, Snyder. He did.
Pains me to say it, but you're right.
Not a fan of Snyder.
I like Snyder the person. I hate the Snyder the competitor.
Then he's doing his job.
After you're 50.
No, I'm done. I'm done. Go on.
I mean, I'm going to say the ironic thing is him being a legend. His retirement was very quiet and with no fanfare. It's kind of.
Which, you know what? I think this is the way Snyder wanted it.
Yeah, true. I know, true.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that was the case for a lot of players.
Yeah.
This year specifically.
That's fair. All right, 50. You, number 5.
My numero 5 is the first match I ever saw. Dan versus Campia.
Ooh.
Well, my opinion on one of the two competitors who were in that match has since severely went downhill for personal reasons. This was the rise of Dan the Goat Merle. Like,
hey,
look who's here. Everybody's showing off their dogs today.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah.
Mine's on a walk right now.
Oh, nice.
That is you over there.
Yeah.
You know what I have to say about the sudden appearance of this little bear?
What?
The pheasant supplies.
So basically, yeah, I think like, and again, remember this was at a time when the round 1 format was still in the old format, which they fixed that. But I think
the matches I have gone back and watched, that is very weird to see.
I think Campia's final score was in the single digit.
Yeah,
Like
that, yeah. And obviously and I suppose that's what happens when you show off before the match is even played. But again, just Darren Merle comes in and wrecks shop. I don't think he missed a single question for 4 matches straight until he claimed the title.
Wow.
And I could also put is the first time he won the belt from Riley. I could put the match where he defended it against Mark Ellis. Santa Claus. But his debut match that really just hit the ball rolling. Yeah, this guy, you better watch out for him. He's going to be a 6-time champion by the time this is all over.
Funnily enough, Merle's match against Le Père Noël is the very first title match I saw.
Again, who?
Santa Claus. In French, his name is Père Noël.
Okay.
It's hard, dude.
It's not.
So,
right.
Yeah, I think I'm done. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a match I've never gone back and watched, but it's a legendary match you always hear about.
It's strictly speaking, it's not the best match, Elizabeth Taylor, but just seeing that match is like you see the beginning of Merle.
Yeah,
and I think it's pretty indisputable at this point. He is the greatest that ever did it, right?
Right.
Last match.
Yes.
There's somebody else I'm going to talk about that might be better.
Well, let me just say this. In singles, he's the best that ever did it. Cross division, you could make an argument, but in singles, he's the best that ever did it.
I actually would argue. I would go with that.
Yeah, okay.
That's the thing now. We have 9 seasons to actually have this conversation.
Exactly.
We have enough of a sample size now.
If can we each just say nominate which ones do we think now are the best, or should we save that for later?
Screw it. I'm gonna say now. I'll give you 3. Actually, no. I'll do my 5. I'll do my 5 and who I think are goats. So obviously you're gonna have Merle. You're gonna have Levine. I'm gonna put Roca on there because of importance to the character development. I'm gonna put Rachel Cushing because she was the first 3 division threat. And then I'm gonna put Kalinowski on there. I know everyone gives him shit, but the dude completely dominated the interview.
Yeah, I mean, look, let's call it spade a spade. Kalinowski is a multi-time champion in several divisions. I guess minus the singles, but still, he did really, really well in singles. He beat people he probably shouldn't have beat, and he almost beat two legendary champion level players in the same day.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for that dang Flash theme song, he would have beaten Snyder and Bateman at the same day.
Mm.
Yeesh. And we just lost the Kalinowski as a viewer, so thank you, Ben.
Speaking of which, Ben, your number.
My number 4 is the newest match on my list. It's a good match. Sam vs. Dan, too, from this last spectacular. This match.
I was gonna say this up top, and I forgot. I did not watch the final spectacular yet. I was waiting to do a big reaction to it, but well, whatever.
I won't spoil anything. I would really say this match gave me everything I wanted in a good match. It didn't matter who won or lost. It was 2 guys playing their hardest. A lot of callbacks in previous matches. These are the 2 best players in the league, and you can tell from this match. From the first question to the last question, this is a must-watch match if you're even a Schmoedown fan whatsoever.
If they ever release them individually, then yes, I will watch it, but I'm not interested in seeing through a 7.5-hour show.
No, I couldn't get.
You could just watch them individually. You don't have to sit down and watch the whole 7 hours.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I'm going to wait till they drop the matches individually before I see it. I'm not going to sit there and scroll through a large show.
I can give you the time code if you really care.
Yeah.
But
there are ways around it, you know.
But yeah, I know. I'm just not in a hurry.
I'm just saying, yeah, it was the piece that was just known. The match everybody wanted to see.
Good to hear.
I didn't spoil anything on it.
Wait and see, Snark. Wait
and see. Wait and see. Okay, so my number 4 is another spectacular match. This one's from Spectacular 4. Spectacular 4. We Are the League.
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, 50. What's your number 4?
Can't believe this guy is on 2 of my entries, but Campy and Knapsack, Whitwer, Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yep, the birth of the Star Wars division.
We would not have had Star Wars division if not for that match. And remember, it all started when just Whitwer and Freddie Prinze were on Jedi Council, and somehow Harloff convinced them both to just do a regular trivia match together, and somehow they both landed on Star Wars as their round 2 categories. This was at a time when the same category could be chosen twice for the round 2. And Sam Whitwer knocked it out of the park because freaking Star Wars. And so he was mad that they made that, to put it in his words, you made me hurt my friend. So somehow Christian once again weaseled his way and convinced them to do a Star Wars match of him and Freddie versus Campy and Knapsack. And then obviously there's the whole nerve herder, which would then, here's what a lot of people don't really know, what a lot of people keep forgetting. is the reason why in round one you have to show what your answer that you wrote on the board and verbalize it.
Is because of this match.
It was originally called the Freddie Prinze Jr. rule.
I remember that. So this is actually one of those matches I have gone back and seen. So yeah, no, I remember. Yeah, I remember. It's bad they didn't keep that name. Like we've obviously got the JTE rule. It's bad we didn't, Freddie Prinze it, man.
Yeah, there might be legal reasons behind it for all we know.
I doubt it.
Yeah, this was such a pivotal match. It was just one of those. It was one of the matches that built the league. There's another match that's not on my list, but it was the Mega Powers versus the Patriots. That whole debacle there. It's the reason why they restructured the entire round system, especially for the teams division. And I believe it also was the challenge rule. I think. I
was going to say, I have not seen that match. I'm only aware that it is a catalyst for change. What happened?
Yeah, I'm not even sure. What happened, 50?
Basically, well, no surprise there. The Mega Powers, if you're not familiar with, it was Makuga and Fenstock. And I'm pretty sure you're familiar with the Patriots, but they lost, and they lost hard. And one of the main reasons they lost is because they were allowed to confer in round one. This was back at a time where you were allowed to confer in round one, not allowed to confer on round three, and there was just a lot of confusion there. They weren't aware of when they can confer in round 1, 2, or 3. This was, I believe, at the time when all 3 rounds the teammates were sitting on the same side, and just the Makuga had an issue with the scoring system in round 1. I think back then it was like 3 questions to one side, 3 questions to the other side, 3 questions back to this side. So then they just decided to restructure the whole thing. 10 questions in round 1 for all asked to the field. The questions in round 2 and 3 completely got a major overhaul. And it all happened on the Schmoe's No Show. Didn't even happen on Schmoedown itself. And this also came out right after the decision and that big major event that happened.
Oh God, I miss the Schmoedown. I miss the Schmoe's No Show, man. I do. There's not many things that I missed involved in this space. That is absolutely one that I do.
I miss Collider Live. That was my favorite one.
Yeah, Collider one too.
Particularly because on that show you could do stuff like this.
Stop shooting! I'm a vegan.
Sure.
Who clicked on that? But that's one of the many things I missed. And I mean, if you would start to do a top 5 list of the stuff you will miss from this YouTube space, pretty sure we all know who would be number 1.
The big man himself.
Yeah.
Sweaty.
Sorry to bring down the mood again, but Ben, what's your number 3?
My number 3, Cushing vs. KO.
Which one?
I mean, 3. Is that on point for you?
No. It's an honorable mention.
Mine is a different one. Mine's a different match. But you know what? It's my number 3. So how about we talk about rivalry?
Perfect.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna say mine was the very first Schmoedown Throwdown. I love that match because of the live atmosphere. The emotions were so high with that match. You could feel the tension, the celebration between Rachel and Mike, and the post-match interview where he had Harloff's kid run in, and it's just it was a magical episode.
It's one of those matches that make you fall in love with the Schmoedown.
Amen.
And fall in love with Rachel. More importantly,
pretty much. Yeah. Like, but by that point, they had Shire Wolves won the title by that point. Because I know Clark was with her when she won that match.
I think I very much remember that Cushing only had 1 belt when Harloff's kid walked in.
Okay, because I remember Clark being there was the first one to congratulate her and stuff like that. I just can't remember the timeline, but yeah, like if you didn't love Rachel the Crusher Cushing before this, she won you over with this, hands down. I agree.
Yeah, hands down. She became my favorite player.
Yeah. Well, she's one of mine because of that. Yeah.
Mine here, and you see this rivalry built up and culminate in this third match. It was great. I mean, talk about a cutthroat match that these two legends of Interkingdom went head to head. It was just very beautiful to see. The
Was that-
amount,
Sorry, was that the San Diego Comic-Con match?
Think so.
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, I think so.
I remember that. You're right. That's a great match.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Actually, I probably am wrong, but wasn't that the one where Smets beat Halavic?
Halavic? Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds right.
Yeah.
I know they were both in the same place. I just can't remember if they were the same.
It was.
Yeah.
Because it's set up. Don't tell Peter.
It was the aftermath of Don't Tell Peter. Because
right.
Don't Tell Peter, that was when Kalinowski beat Smets because of that, and then played Rachel for the title.
Right. Okay. Oh, another thing that the Comic-Con match brought us, it was the very first on-screen appearance of none other than the Queen herself.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great way to introduce her, by the way.
No kidding. This rivalry will go down as one of the greatest trilogies in Schmoedown history, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
What? Let me ask you guys this. Which rivalry do you like more? This or KO vs. Mets?
Oh, this.
Yeah, this. I mean, KO versus Smets is great, but I mean, it set the bar for the other one to follow.
Yeah, exactly.
I love Kalinowski's reaction to the first question. Like, Harloff starts to read the question. It's about Superman Returns, and he's like, come on," and he starts pacing. And then he mentions the actor who played Barry White. And just look at the guy. He was frustrated. He knew he was going to lose this, and he just stops. Like, what? Did you seriously just ask me this? And then he just starts crying, talking about how he's one of his favorite actors.
Frank Langella.
From the Masters of the Universe movie. He played Skeletor. And his voice breaks when he says the name Frank Langella.
Mm-hmm.
And the waterworks begin on both sides. You cannot make this up. You cannot fake this. This is real sports drama right there.
This was the Schmoedown at its best.
Peak Schmoedown, right?
Yeah.
All right, so my number 3 and Ben's number 3 were pretty much 2 different matches from the same rivalry. So 50 is number 3.
So should I get into my number 3 then?
Yeah. So I said, yeah.
I have a feeling someone's going to be pretty disappointed. It's Makuga versus Draco.
Punt.
All right, fine.
There's still a chance. All right, Ben.
My number is Ken vs. Sam Iron Man match.
So that's one of those ones that unfortunately is on my honorable mentions.
Man, talk about a great Star Wars match. This match is the reason why I would have loved Sam to come back in later seasons.
That's not an understatement, folks. I had to hear about it at least once a month ever since. He's not exaggerating. He really, really wanted that match.
Fuck you.
It's true, though. You really wanted that match, man. I think that's the one match that you.
I'm a vegan.
From the impression I got, that's your ultimate dream match.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Wouldn't it be for one of yours?
Oh, of course. It was a great
Yeah.
match. Just seen a follow-up, but I mean, I just knew when it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, I don't know why I do too. But it's not me from wanting it. But
It would have been fun. It would have been fun. Sam, what?
This Iron Man match, back and forth between the dark side and the light side. The characteristics were there. The knowledge was there. There's everything you wanted in an Iron Man Star Wars match.
First Iron Man match, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and how it ended was
Right?
just phenomenal.
I think it was.
Literally after the clock ran out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was.
Oh no, sorry. Go ahead, Ben.
I think it was the first one of 2 Iron Man matches. I don't think they did that many.
Yeah, there was that and
Above the line, Patriots.
above the line.
Now forgive me if I'm wrong, but if I'm not mistaken, that match was the exact same day as his number 1 contendership match.
I think I've heard that before.
Because if you look, he's dressed identically right down to the hair.
Yeah.
Again? Or
no, Whitworth.
Really?
Same shirt, same hairstyle, everything. I'm pretty sure
When,
the same day, which would make sense. Guy.
When that was a 5-way, right?
That was the Iron Man match. So yeah, the 5-way would have been filmed first, and then the Iron Man match was filmed that same day.
But the number 1 contender match, that was the Iron Man.
That was the
right?
5-way.
Yeah, the number 1 contender was the 5-way, and which, by the way, was the debut of Alex Demon.
Yep. With Alex, he had a different name. It's different.
The Explainer.
Yeah, the Explainer. Really bad. Really bad.
Yeah, I went back and rewatched a lot of Schmoedown matches for editing purposes. I remember these things.
I would hope so. Glad somebody does.
Do not threaten me with muffins.
I wasn't threatening you, you bastard. So, my turn?
Yeah.
We're on another killer already.
We are, I know. We're cruising. So this one. Oh man, if we'd have gotten these two at 100%, this match probably would have been number 1.
Oh, I think I know where you're headed.
Rick Cushing versus Mara Konopik in the semifinals for the IG tournament. That is a match of epic proportions. It is easy to say that is the Schmoedown equivalent of Michael Jordan's flu game.
Yeah.
Rachel Cush, for those of you who don't know, Rachel severely under the weather, had to drag herself out of bed. Mara had just recently gotten into a pretty bad car accident, not exactly in the best physical condition. They both came and played a match for the ages, barely entered any energy there, and they still made it. How far into sudden death was it?
I think it might have been 11 questions. And the thing is, when they missed, they both had the same answers.
Yeah. They missed together. And the only reason it ended where it did is because Rachel was done. She just couldn't go anymore. She says, I don't know, Superman the movie, and that was it. That match is easily one of the best matches in Schmoedown history because it illustrates to you the passion these two competitors have, the dedication these competitors have, and just how magical a moment you can make if you get the right circumstance. And
the love between the two.
Exactly. Yeah, and this is one I'm very disappointed. This is for me, you're the Whitwer one for you. This is the one I would have loved to have seen both of these competitors face off against each other at 100%. Because if we got that with them at like 60%, dear God.
Yeah.
I think that match wouldn't still be going on to this day.
Probably.
Yeah, pretty much. They'd have to invent new movies to make more questions from.
Yep. That was easily the best match of that tournament.
Can we at least agree that the IG division has some of the best drama?
The IG division is hands down my favorite division.
Yeah, mine too.
Questions for the subject matter, but just the matches themselves are some of the best.
Oh God, yeah. Pre-COVID,
it's definitely a division where you feel proud to call yourself.
You're a nerd.
Yeah, no, for sure. The inner geekdom is where I belong.
Yeah, all three of us.
Yeah.
All three of us have TKO victories in that division. Not bragging, but
yeah.
I think I'm going to get KO though. Or is that another division? I do know I've got a KO on my record.
That's awesome.
As someone who watches all the IG matches in that league, I'm pretty sure you don't have a KO in that one.
Okay, so it might be the singles then.
Yeah, I might be.
Okay.
All right.
You're number 2.
Speaking of two, well, it's a very good transition to my number 2 because my number 2. Can you guess which one it is?
It's the second part of a series of matches. I don't know.
Dimolanta does it! Dimolanta does it! 51 to 50!
Okay, that is an unfortunate honorable mention.
Wow.
The highest score of any Schmoedown match in the history of the show. Two guys not missing a single question in Star Wars, the hardest division, or at least the most in-depth division. 2, maybe 3 challenges, I think. Not going a single multiple choice in round 2. Ending up in a time at the end of round 5. And then going 10 questions in sudden death. And again, another challenge in the sudden death. They go back into it again. And Damon pulling the answer after the clock ran out. After he already used a repeat. Which it's a legendary match for the ages. And just the excitement on Dimolanta's face when he does that. And it's just also the history with that match. How many times? 5 times, 6 times defense in Star Wars.
3 years.
Yeah, the longest running champion in any division. How is that not at least on anyone's list, including honorable mentions? It's just
that it is honorable mentions. It's just only reason I went there is just because the matches that I have on my list they actually mean something to me in their own different way. That match, don't get me wrong, I would argue is the best match of the pandemic era.
Absolutely, yeah. It was match of the year.
Yep.
All you have to do to go up to a fellow Schmoedown fan and just say 5150 and everyone knows what you're talking about.
Who made a t-shirt about this?
They did, yeah. This is one of 2 5150s matches, but this is the most impressive one. The other one was Shazam, and I can't remember who they beat. But
I think corruption.
Right, okay. But yeah, this is the memorable one because it had, like 50 said, it had the added stakes of you had the unbeatable champion.
And if I can just say a side note, if you have not watched the Star Wars match between Alex Damon and Marie Wilson, they dropped it on their YouTube channel. It's no longer a Patreon exclusive. My God, it's one of those matches that make you question your knowledge of Star Wars. You realize how much you don't know about Star Wars watching one of these matches.
I do that every time I watch a Star Wars match, period.
Right, fine. Understandable.
I have my base knowledge, and after that, it's I'm out.
Me too, man. Me too. All right, honorable mention time. I'll go first. The Star Wars 5-way match, Sam's number 1 contender. Finn's not finished a snap.
Oh, when Finstock won somehow.
Yep. And then Finn Draco versus Shock. That's my honorable mentions.
Okay, so mine, 5150, Whitwer Knapsack, Patriots Above the Line 3, the Iron Man match.
Iron match.
Roca versus Merle. And Bateman, the first one, the one for the title, where Roca won the first title, his first title.
We'll talk about more about that in a few minutes.
I figure. And then this one because I have to Bateman Guy 2, the one in Houston. Because
in the arena, and
just because it took place in a wrestling ring, which is like it feels like where the Schmoedown belongs. Plus, you had what are the odds that Bateman would land on Spinner's Choice twice?
And
one away.
And correct me if I'm wrong, that's a Will Smith match, right?
That's the one where he hit him with the chair, yeah.
No. Oh, maybe I'm thinking about something else.
I don't remember. I remember more of the theatrics of that one. I remember more of the, like I said, the back-to-back.
Which one was he been picking up snapped?
Oh, that's later. That's later. That's
Oh,
the
okay.
boxing. Yeah.
Odd Couple versus Who's the Boss.
Yeah, that was in
Okay, my man.
Yeah, it was like one of those live event settings.
My man.
Yeah, those are mine. What about you, 50?
So pretty much everyone you just mentioned, both on your list and honorable mentions, but also the ones you didn't mention, Roca versus Riley, the Karate Kid match.
Oh yeah. Mark
The
Riley's gonna fight.
it's from theatrics alone. Also, and Draco versus Bibiani the first time.
Oh yeah.
I didn't want to count these, but I mean the free for alls, just any of them.
I almost included the first one because of the knockout.
Yeah.
X5XX.
Yeah.
Which ones? I had several that I forgot, but for now, I think we've said enough. Maybe I'll remember some more along the way, but I think we all were just itching at the bit to get to our number ones, right?
Yeah. All right, Ben. What's your number one? Even though I think we know what it is.
One company,
Yeah.
one.
Yep.
The culmination of all the work Walker did to get that champ belt. You see it in his face when he won that match.
Yep.
He put character for like 5 seconds. That match was everything you want in a title match. And it showed you what it meant to these players when they win a match.
Yeah, that was epic. That was, how do I put this in wrestling terms? That was Macho Man versus Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
And yeah, the right man won. I think we'd be wrong. I love Merle, but the right man won that match.
Yeah.
I think Roca said multiple times that if they were ever to make a biopic about his life, it would most likely end with him winning that belt.
Yeah.
The first time. That was the highest high point in his life. That's what he said.
And you can tell. I mean, he was literally in tears when he won.
One of the best gifts in the Schmoedown community of all time. And just jumping with excitement. And it's the look of happiness, excitement, and shock all at the same time.
Yeah, agreed. It was great.
You feel it. You feel it watching it. You feel what he feels.
It almost feels like his heart is about to give out from the excitement. It just pop out of his chest while he's... Will you stop that, you two? Never have your parents over while doing a live show, guys. Never have your parents over.
Yep.
All right, so on that note, I think I know it.
Snark, if you're still watching, it's Finn Draco versus Makuga. And the reason why this is number one is because...
Hold on. This is number one?
Yeah. This is my number one. And here's why it's my number one. Because if you want to show someone everything that checks off what the Schmoedown is, it's this one. You've got a great trivia match. You've got great theatrics, great storyline material, great moment when this revealed that it's Draco under the mask. It just checks every single one of those boxes. It is the one match, in my opinion, that encapsulates every single aspect of the Schmoedown and shows it at its best.
I was enjoying the Schmoedown matches up until that point, but that was the match where and I'm very thankful that no one else was in the room with me when that happened. But when Josh won, I got up from the chair and just screamed with happiness. because obviously the stipulation was if he loses, he's banned from the league for a year.
Mm-hmm.
And just to know that one of my favorite players at the time is safe, at least for now. That was it got me. That was when I became a Schmoedown fan from watching that match. The excitement of having him win, and again, it was on my number 3, so I can talk about it. And the only other time when that happened to me, and I just remember one of my honorable mentions, was when Above the Line beat the Patriots. And I watched that one at work. A very dangerous thing to do, but I was screaming like a little child when that happened. Caused a lot of commotion in my workplace, but just the Patriots going 0 for 9, defending the belts 7 times or 6 times, and losing to these guys. That was an excitement that I've only ever felt. One time prior to that was when Andrejko beat Findrako, and Faco, as I like to call him, in the most spectacular way possible. Even though it wasn't spectacular. And I love his reasoning behind it too. Before the match started, it was like, okay, so you got Andrejko dressed as Finstock against me. Andrejko lost to Bibiani. Bibiani lost to JTE. I beat JTE. Therefore, I win. And lo and behold, he did it. And even Andrejko knew it while he was answering the final question. He was like, yep, give it to him. Before they even announced the winner. Just the way the Schmoedown cookie rolls, perfectly exemplified in that match. And it was the culmination of several storylines that have gone on for over a year and a half.
Yeah, it was long. It was one of the true treasures of professional wrestling. It was long-term storytelling.
Yep.
Yeah, they're like this is forever my favorite season, just because it's on that cusp. It's on that line where you're transitioning from the old Schmoedown to the new Schmoedown. So it's like that nice gray area. And we got some great stuff in season 4, man. Like that to me is like, that is Schmoedown at its zenith. It's like WWE's Attitude Era.
Do you think it was the peak of Schmoedown?
Yes.
Season?
Yes,
Wow.
I really do.
Wow. Okay.
Just because, again, don't get me wrong, there's been a lot of great matches. Don't get me wrong, a lot of great stuff. The Anarchy tournament, the factions actually were pretty good at the beginning. There's a lot of great stuff, but just when it comes down to it, it hadn't quite grown big yet. You can still, it's just a bunch of friends having fun, which is how the show started.
I agree.
I think my favorite season might have been the Magic season because of everything that happened there. It was magic.
No, you're not wrong. It's just there was an innocence and an earnestness about season 4 where I don't know. That to me was magic. Because like I said, it's a bunch of friends who are getting together. They want to see this thing succeed. And you can tell that they are just they're having fun. There's none of the drama that we've heard about ever since, and none of that stuff. You could tell they're there and they're having fun.
Yeah, I guess I agree. After all that, yeah.
The Lion's Den, remember that? Like, you know what I miss, and I was never a fantasy guy, but I miss Cody and they're doing their fantasy updates.
The funny part about that is, even though I've been called fantasy updates, they never really updated.
Nope.
They never gave updates.
It was the fun tag at the end, really. That's
Right.
really all it was.
Kind of sucks.
And I love that they mixed it up and they did different things every single time.
Yep.
Yeah. No, it was truly the apex.
Yeah.
All right, 50. Uno.
Okay, so for my number uno, I pulled a Ben, and it's actually 2 matches.
Oh.
But it's a continuation of each other. The first was when the Shire Wolves won the title for the first time against Sick in the Head, and the next was when they defended it against Who's the Boss.
Gotcha.
That is an Infinity War Endgame level match.
Can I just say?
So
Can I just say?
you could have punted that because We Are the League is the Who's the Boss match.
I did punt it. I punted the We Are the League. Well, he's gone.
Can I just say? Thank God you said. You're not in here.
Okay.
Can I just say real quick? Thank God you can't call out these two matches. If no one was going to call them out, I was going to make an audible and call them out after. Because we need to talk about these two matches.
They're
So
fucking
go ahead, 50. Talk about them. Thank you.
To be fair, Shire Wolves versus Sick in the Head, not really the best match because it was, at the time, the best team in the league. No doubt about that. The Shire Wolves, best team in the league, versus Brienne and some random guy she picked off the street. I'm exaggerating, for me the fact, but still, just a guy we never heard of, and it ended in a round 2 knockout. But that being said, first time female champions. I think that was before.
No. Second. They're the second because Mara had already won the IG at that point.
Wasn't Rachel the first champion in IG?
No, Mara. Everyone thought it was going to be Rachel, but it ended up being Mara.
Yeah, because in the Who's the Boss, she walked out with the belt. Mara did. But first time female champions, first female team to win, and also the entrances, the costumes, the effects, everything, and the emotion on their faces. Christian announces them as the winners, and they're in total shock because they thought they had at least one more round to go, and just when the realization hits their faces that no, they won, they're the champions now. It sent shockwaves around the world, and they were able to replicate that with the Who's the Boss match, one of the best matches of all time. Again, for the entrances and just the standing ovation. Ben Bateman finally giving respect to somebody in the league, just standing there, just clapping to the two of them as they walk out with the Audrey Hepburn and Marilyn Monroe costumes. And that's not even getting to the match itself and how they won. And then obviously, as you mentioned, pointed it out, We Are the League.
Yeah.
And
what else? Another thing that adds some weight to that Who's the Boss match is how important it was to solidify Shire Wolves as the team. Because if you remember, the fans were not kind to them after.
No.
They never talked to women.
Because, well, I'm going to be honest, that's not how they should have won the title. It's not. It should have been above the line. But that's still no excuse to treat Rachel and Clark the way a bunch of people did. And so that's what makes We Are the League that much more impactful, because it was, we're here, we're the champs, sit down, shut the fuck up. It was an exclamation point.
And I'm going to do something that I never do. A sports reference.
Wow.
Yeah. Shocker, I know. It's usually. I know you were thinking about a Lion King one, right? You were thinking I'm going to go in that direction, but no. Sit down, Simba. So I'm going to do something I never do on the show. Make a sports reference. When Clark gets up and says that she's hearing people saying, why don't they just make a women league for this? And she just replies by saying, We Are the League. It reminded me of when an Israeli basketball player, some little guy by the name of Tal Brody, got after a big game, got up and said, we are on the map and we'll stay on the map. Didn't exactly say it like that, but it gets the point across. We are on the map and we'll stay on the map.
So I have actually a funny Canadian version of this. And what's even funnier is this year is the 50th anniversary, but the Summit Series 1972, they had done their 4 games in Canada. The Canadians got beat badly in Vancouver by the Russians. it's a point that the Canadian fans were booing Team Canada, and Phil Esposito came out and gave an impassioned plea. It's like, hey guys, what the hell? Like, we're out here trying our best. Like, we don't deserve this. It reminded me of that, just like it reminded you of yours with the Israeli basketball player. It's one of those moments where it's just like you see the person underneath the character, and it just hits on a whole different level. Like that Esposito speech here in Canada is still talked about amongst hockey fans.
On the other hand, he could have just said this.
Stop shooting. I'm a vegan.
Sure. Okay. So
Well,
what Ben?
I was just going to say, 2 great matches. You said everything I wanted to say.
It's been fun revisiting this. I'm not gonna lie, I'm probably never gonna go back and revisit it, but it's been fun to try to jump back in the time machine and go back and revisit something that was an important part of my life.
There was one thing I wanted to add. If you like the real the league moment, they did something in spectacular to pay homage to it.
Good.
You know, and they wanted to throw that out there.
Good.
Hey man, it's the circle of life.
The circle of life. Oh yeah. All right.
Hakuna Matata.
It starts. All right. So now my pick for the week list for next week is the top 5 Harry Potter fights. Now, it could be a wand fight, it could be a fist fight, it could be fights on broomsticks. It can be from the movies, or it could be from the books.
What about the video games?
Yes, I will include the video games as well for U50.
You just made someone very, very happy. I'm just gonna say that.
So yeah, that's my pick. The top 5 Pottermore fight scenes. How's about that? Call it Pottermore, just because
I
it's
don't know what Pottermore is.
Well, why don't you say the top 5 Wizarding World fights?
okay. The top 5 Wizarding World fights. Yes.
The Wizarding World fights, that kind of includes Fantastic Beasts in there
Yep,
too.
I'm including them as well.
Well, you know, I will say this. While the movie's not that great, the Dumbledore Grindelwald fights in Secrets of Dumbledore, not bad. Really not bad.
That is, I actually haven't seen that one yet. That is one I'm going to sit down and watch this week. So, because yeah, I'm eventually going to watch it.
Like I said, the movie's not great, and I guess we can talk about it because it's been long enough for spoilers. When we did the Wizarding World rankings on this channel a few months ago, when the movie came out, in the green room, our good buddy Dave asked me a question. He's like, I was the only one who saw that movie, I think, and the first thing he says to me when he sees me in the green room is like, 50, I gotta know. Don't tell me anything about the movie. Keep it spoiler free, but I gotta know this. Does a magic horse decide who the next president going to be? And I just go, yes.
I'm sold.
Apparently, he's got a friend that always tells him 2 things. He always sees movies ahead of him, and he tells him 2 facts about the movie. One is fake and one is real, and he had to figure out which one was real.
I like that. I've really got to see this now. This is my question. Is it better than the second one?
Yes, but not by much.
I'll take it. That second one, man, just left me. I felt like Charlie in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia trying to figure out who the hell Pepe Sylvia is. Just, yeah, that's basically how I was coming out of the movie. Like, what the hell did I just watch?
Here's what I'll say. This movie, take everything that you saw from the second one and all this, it simplifies it. Doesn't mean it's a good movie though.
Thank you. Okay, I will definitely have to probably pick
it's one of those movies. You know how we live in this era where a storyteller from a beloved franchise does something in a movie, a TV season, or whatever. The fans hate it, and then literally the next installment in that story is undoing everything that they did in the previous one.
Yeah, pretty much.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you for that very subtle mention. Thank you.
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, silent but deadly, like my farts. Okay.
And I will say this. I will give props to the Doctor Who writers for sticking to their guns and not doing that. Thank you very much. Doesn't mean the season was better, but at least they introduced something and they stuck to it. That's all I'm gonna
I
say.
watched the teaser for the next upcoming special. I'm like, that's it? I was expecting a little more.
No. It's a teaser for the trailer that comes out today.
Well, I'll be down. I can't wait to see that. All right. 50, where can everybody find you?
There we go. The holy trifecta. I finally made my first sports reference, and then I followed it up with the Lion King and the Doctor Who reference. Speaking of Doctor Who, you can find me on this channel on The Greatest Show in the Galaxy. I had this guy on for a fun discussion about Doctor Who spin-offs, and we're going to continue that in the next week of The Greatest Show in the Galaxy. I was also on this guy's show 2 weeks in a row talking about some Star Wars stuff, particularly the Endor show. And I also have my own YouTube channel, 50 Shades of Geek, where I do all kinds of stuff. I just did some trailer reactions to that 14-minute Pokemon trailer. And I also have this Doctor Who Visited, where I go through every single Doctor Who episode from 1963 all the way to 1922 and review them all individually. Thank you. I'm done. By the way.
And you guys can find me at Mike_Winnie. Also find me on my YouTube channel, The Multiverse of Geekdom. And you guys can find me here on Saturdays on the Northern Countdown and Tuesdays on Rewind the Tape. Soda. Oh, you, my man.
All right, my personal Instagram and Twitter at soda_the_saxman. You can find me in all the shows that these gentlemen have mentioned. The Squirt Slices is currently on a hiatus right now just because my schedule is incredibly busy. Dustin started a new job. He's a little busy as well. We will be coming back. It just probably won't be for a little bit. And of course, Friday nights, we took the week off this week because Dagan was at the Impact Wrestling show. But Friday nights over in the Let's Get Ready Network, we go live at 8:15 Pacific to do the Blokes of Wrestling, where we recap everything that happened in the week of professional wrestling. So on behalf of the other two, myself, 50, and Ben, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And let us know what your all-time favorite movie trivia Schmoedown matches are and why they mean so much to you in the comments. So yeah, see y'all next week as we break down the top 5 Wizarding World fights. Oh,
2 weeks. We're not on next week.
We are off next week because Ben's brother is getting married.
Mazel tov!
There you go.
So Ben is fulfilling the role of ring bearer. Ring bearer.
I told you that.
No, I was guessing. You're actually the ring bearer?
Yeah.
So I had no idea.
You should send him. You should send him your dog. That way he can be the ring bear.
That's actually what I was going to make that joke, the How I Met Your Mother joke. Wait, did you just say ring bearer? All right, folks. Have a good week. We'll see you in 2 weeks, and hopefully Ben will have some wild stories from the wedding for us.
And hope.
Drop it like a hat. See you next week.
And your winner.
Yeah. Have a good weekend. Have a good 2 weeks, folks, and happy Canadian Thanksgiving to all my fellow Canadians out there. See you later.
Canadians are weird.